Hello, this is Mary of the Anchorage Memories Club.
And this is Mike. In this edition of the Anchorage Memories Club, we're looking at Anchorage memories you'll love. And we know because our readers are sharing their memories of Anchorage, Alaska. Tom had this memory. I love the Anchorage Memories Club and remembering the good times in Anchorage in the 1970s when I was a teen. Your post about Stewart's photo shop rekindled memories of spending a lot of time there, usually during the Rondi dog sled races. We'd stop in to buy more film, we took plenty of photos back then, warm up, look at some jade, and dream of buying fancier cameras. Thanks for doing what you do to remind us of Anchorage history.
Don and Maureen remember the rendezvous. Thanks, Mike and Mary, for refreshing our Rondi memories. Yes, I marched and played trombone in the West High Band, and the brass got pretty cold. Our friends and family were very active during rendezvous each year. I still have a partial collection of Rondi pins. I have a vague recollection of a 3-block-long section of rail placed along 4th Avenue, and a rail car riding that section during Rondi, perhaps in the early 50s. Lynn remembers her first job. My first real job was at the book cash in the Sears Mall. I worked with a wonderful crew, really nice folks. I remember the mall was a happening place back then, with plenty of people shopping or having lunch there.
Dennis remembers the Sears Mall. Thank you for the Anchorage Memories Club. I was the apprentice fire sprinkler employee on the mall project. Our son was born in July 1968 at the community hospital. Great memories. And Michael recalls his visits to the Sears Mall. So many great memories of the Sears Mall when the Bethel High School band would travel to Anchorage every spring for the Southwest Alaska High School Music Festival at West High. We would always stay at Turnagain Methodist Church on Northern Lights, closer to the airport. Nobody had ever been to a mall before, so it was exciting. One year, we even walked to the mall from the church. Thanks for sharing.
Barbara shared this memory. I lived in Anchorage in the 1970s, and your stories bring back fond memories. Not long ago, you ran a story about Larry Carr and Carr's Markets. We lived in Spenard when my daughter was born in the old Anchorage Community Hospital in 1972. After a few other stops in Bethel and Fairbanks, my husband was a wean pilot. We returned to Anchorage and lived on Campbell Lake. The Carrs had the house next to us, although not a close-by neighbor because they had a triple lot. Sadly, my husband was killed in a plane crash of our small plane in March 1978. I carried on, as one must. And later in the spring, I was out putting in a new mailbox post. Mrs. Carr came over.